Hello everyone, this is a quick in-hand review of the American DJ VPAR pack. This is a pack of 2 PAR style uplights. I bought 2 boxes of them because I needed 4 more. The reason being I have a gig this weekend that requires 24 uplights and I currently have 20 of these Rasha core uplights, which are great because they're very similar to the Chauvet Freedom PAR uplights, as you can see here, very similar, but they're much more of a value if you catch my drift. So that was important for my clients, so I decided to sell off my Chauvets and get something a little bit more economical. So unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to ship for more of these Rasha Professionals out in time for Saturday, so I got these American DJ ones. I'm just about to open them up, and let's take a look. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm surprised that they come with a bag, which is really cool. Because I actually purchased a bag for them, not realizing that they came with a bag. So most of the time I've purchased uplights, they do not include a bag, so that's awesome. So this is what they look like from the front and from the back. And this is the included remote. One thing to definitely be aware of is that this particular model, the VPAR LED, these are not battery powered. Unlike these kind, which a lot of uplights are battery powered. You just want to make sure that when you purchase them, you read the box and make sure you're getting whatever it is that you want. So obviously, if they don't include a battery, then you're going to get more of a discount. But if you get the battery, then you don't need to have cables and find outlets. So in my case, since I have 20 that are battery powered, I think I'll be able to find 4 outlets to power these ones up. So to set them up, you unscrew this a little bit and open up the legs. Ultimately, once it's set up, it's going to look like this, and you can tilt it straight up. Of course, like all uplights, we're placing this against walls, pillars, trees, etc. Then you've got your power cable. And then once that's plugged in, your remote should work. You just have to remove this little plastic sleevey thingy. And let's see what happens. No, I think I need to do some settings here. All right, so it took a little bit of fiddling, and I must say I'm not super impressed with the ability for this thing to take commands from its remote. But so far, after about 5 minutes of pressing buttons, I have figured out that if I set this to program, okay, now it's not going to want to do it. I need to restart this. All right, I think I got this figured out, but boy, is this finicky. So fingers crossed that this works for me this time. I went into the channel settings. I don't know if you can see the LED light. And let's see, let me get back. Setup channel, so channel 7. So if I go through the channels with the up-down arrow, man, this thing is so finicky. Let me start from the beginning. So the first thing is that I read through the instruction manual, and it said that in order to turn on the remote, you need to go to the menu like this. You need to find D, which stands for I don't know what, but then you have to make sure that this is on. So you can go setup, and then also make sure that this is on. So in order to turn it on or off, you can use the up-down arrows. So with both of these things being on, then the remote is supposed to work. Now right now we're on D, which I assume is for the remote, but nothing's happening. I'm going to make this a long video just so it can be honest and explain how much of a pain this is. So what I think I discovered a second ago was that if it's in, and it does not, I've read through the instruction manual, it doesn't really explain how to make this, how to troubleshoot the problem that I'm having, which is I've already told the uplight that I want the remote to be on, and I'm now trying to use it and it's not working, and I'm going through all the different modes and trying the remote, and it's just like nothing's happening. no matter what mode I'm in. And I've tried this with 4 different uplights, so I know it's not this one in particular. It's just like an issue it has. So what I think I saw earlier was somehow I was able to get to channel. I can't figure out how I did that, but for those of you who don't want to stick through the very end of this video to figure out how I get this thing working, which I'm sure I eventually will, let me just say that these uplights, both of these options, there's no brain power involved. Basically, back in the day, before modern uplights, you had to manually program uplights with your fingers. And then eventually they had remotes, but the remotes, like this one, they just, don't work great. So what I'm dealing with is old technology that is really not something I'm super familiar with because I'm so used to, these things have been out for a while now, so I'm used to using these. Let me demo what these look like. Okay, so you flip the switch to turn on the uplight. Oops, hope I didn't crack my table. And then this is the remote that these ones came with. So I'm gonna go red, green, blue, amber, white, or UV. That's how complicated uplights should be. But over here, we've got a different matter entirely. This uplight just does not seem to want to cooperate. So I'm going to pause the video and keep troubleshooting, and I'm going to unpause it when I get this thing working. But rest assured, I'm already super frustrated, and I can't honestly say I recommend buying these because when you're on a gig, so like say a wedding, you do not have time to be problem solving something this complicated where the answer is not even in the instruction manual. You need things to be simple and to work well, unless you're a lighting designer, in which case you probably studied this in school, so you're more competent than I am. But I have been DJing a long time. I haven't used these style uplights in like 15 years, and I'm glad not to have to. And I probably shouldn't have bought these. I'm going to be honest. I got a good deal on them, so I may hold on to them once I get them working. But for all those watching, I definitely recommend, first of all, just make sure, unless you don't need battery, get battery powered up lights like these. And also make sure that you look at the reviews and make sure that they work. That you press the button and it does what the button says, as opposed to over here where it seems like, I've tried so many different options and I'm just not getting anywhere. When you see lights turning on and off on this one, no, it's because I'm cycling through the different modes. But ultimately, all I really want right now is for the remote control to work. And that's just not happening. So one of the things it says is that you need to aim it at the front. And okay, so I can see that it's turning on and off. So that means that it's recognizing the remote. Okay, let's see. So I'm pressing red, nothing's happening, green, nothing's. So I'm pressing these buttons and I'm seeing numbers. I'm sure like experienced lighting designers are laughing at me like, look at this poor guy. He has no idea. But okay, I'm gonna pause this video and get back to you once I get this figured out, okay? Okay, so right after I paused the video, I tried something and it worked. And again, this would be a lot more obvious to me if it was in the instruction manual, but I don't see it in here. I can prove it to you later. But anyway, so I clicked CL. I'm not sure what CL stands for, but a second ago that was working. Oh, and now it's not working. Now you're not going to work for me. Let me cycle back through the modes until I see CL again. Okay, CL. Not working. This thing is so weird. It's like designed to be frustrating. Which, if I wasn't making a video for you guys where it's like there's actually something to be benefited from me suffering right now, because you're getting to see it and learn not to buy this thing. Let's see. CL. So that was working a second ago. I was able to get it to cycle through the colors by pressing the up and down arrow on CL. But okay. I saw it change. Now it's not changing. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So the problem was that, as it did say in the instruction manual, you have to point it at the front. I just wasn't sure what the front is. This is the front. So where the power plugs in is the front. So in theory, if I... Nope. Now it's not working. Oh man. Let's try it again. So let's see. I'm going to go back out of mode. This is like the equivalent of turning a computer on and off again. I'm just like, all right, let me get out of this mode and then see. Okay. It recognized that click. Nope. Is it the top? Oh, I see. Okay, it's the top. It's not the front, it's the top that wants to be clicked on. So I got to point this remote right at the top of the thing. Now it's working. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I think I figured out at least part of why this is so frustrating. It's because you need to be pointing from the top down at the uplight, which kind of makes sense because that's how you would actually be using it in the wild. So maybe my review was super harsh. I'll tell you what, let's turn it off completely. And now that I know it's CL, let's give this thing a fair evaluation. Looks like there's no on-off button, there's just the cord. So I'm gonna unplug the cord. And okay, so the cord's plugged back in. Let's see if it works right out of the box. Yes, okay, interesting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have unplugged this uplight and re-plugged it in, and without having to press any further buttons, it is now working as advertised, and I'm happy. I'm quite happy. So let's see. Right now I'm pressing the up and down arrows to cycle through all the color options. Now I'd like to see if the actual R, G, B, A, and W, which stand for white, red, green, blue, and amber, work. So let's see. Amber, blue, green, red, white. Okay, not working. However, plus and minus were working a second ago, but now they're not because somehow I got out of the menu. Let's see if I can get back into it. So yeah, I got into some strange other menu called R, and then the 250 usually stands for some kind of, I don't know, usually it stands for the color, but I'm not sure in this case what it stands for. But let's see, R, it was CL that was the thing that was working. And that, again, was trial and error. I did not see CL anywhere in this instruction manual. Maybe it's in here somewhere, but there's like a specific instructions section for the remote. And that is, let's see. Here it is. So infrared receiver on page 10, it just tells you how to basically make sure that the uplight is receiving the signal. So it tells you how to turn it on so that it receives signal, but it doesn't tell you what mode to put it on. And then again, here's, let's see, somewhere else I saw a section on infrared remote has many different functions, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't tell you to set it to CL to make it work. That would have been helpful information. Maybe it's buried in here somewhere, but it's like, come on, guys, make that obvious because that's the most important thing to know, how to change the color on your uplight. But anyway, so now we're back into CL, and we are going to try this again. So if I press the down arrow, I'm getting colors. Okay, guys, so here is my honest evaluation of this. I've been DJing 22 years. I've used old school uplight like this a few times when I've worked for other people's DJ companies. It was always a pain in the butt. The mentors who mentored me always seemed to know what they were doing. They're from a different generation they grew up on these kind of uplights. I grew up on, this kind of technology where it's like, okay, things should do what you ask them to do when you press the button that says turn red, turn green, turn blue, etc. So how do I feel about this uplight? I'm not a fan. It was definitely a good deal because it's battery powered and it's kind of old school. It's still being sold today, but it's definitely old school because it doesn't have the modern, push button technology. It's got the modern push a button and then have to figure it out technology. So if you have watched this video and you feel like, hey, now that I've suffered from, through Ethan's video and figured out what took him a while to figure out, which is you got to set it to CL and then you should be able to change the colors. Well, then, sure. If you're on a budget, this is a budget uplight. And this will get the job done. I'm confident that like once I set this and forget it and leave it, it's like if this is the color that they wanted, great, should work. So what I'm not happy about is the fact that it's not intuitive, because here's the problem. This Saturday, I have a gig myself, but I'm actually renting these uplights to another company that is doing this gig. So they're going to take out my 20 uplights that are awesome, and then they're stuck with these other 4, which I'll of course let them know about. But I want it to be super obvious how to make these things work, and I feel like I have to make a special video for their technician so that he doesn't have a panic attack and call me while I'm on my wedding to problem solve. So I've heard over the years from different DJ owners about preferred uplights, and I've consistently heard that Chauvet over here is the superior brand to American DJ. And in fact, I just bought my fourth actually gig bar. So I have the basic 4-bar LTD whatever thing, this thing over here. Then buried under these speakers is my gig bar Move, which I love. And I love my gig bar Move so much, I just bought the gig bar Move ILS, which is the next generation. And if you see up there, right there, the ILS command, that thing is actually supposed to be able to control that from my DJ area, which I'm super excited about and I will make a video about soon. But anyway, going back to these brands, I've just heard over the years that American DJ is not as awesome a brand as Chauvet, and I agree based on my experience so far. It's not a real fair comparison because these are not the same class of uplights as these are. But then side-by-side comparison between the Rasha and the Freedom Par, I can say that what Rasha did was try to clone the Chauvet as much as possible, and I think they did a pretty good job. And it's definitely a bargain over the Chauvets, which are quite premium. So, gosh, this has been a 17-minute video. I should probably end it here, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. Just a final run through of this for those who skipped to the end. We did get this thing working. We had to set it to CL, and then I was able to use the up-down arrows to cycle through the different colors. I did like the fact that these came with a bag. I wish I'd known that. It's probably on the box somewhere because I ended up buying a bag for them. But ultimately, what can I say? These are not intuitive at all. So you can't just give these uplights to somebody like I can with these and expect them not to have problems. You're probably going to get a phone call from somebody in a panic being like, I can't get it working. Now, if you've done the work that I've just done today, you'll be able to explain to them, oh, you need to do this and that. And in my case, set it to CL, and then you can use at least the up-down arrows to make it work. I don't know why the buttons that actually select the color aren't working, but that's a story for another video. I'll end it here. Thank you very much for watching. Everybody out there, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one.